Some minds don't predict the future. They remember it before it happens. What happens when your mind shows you the ending before the story even begins? What happens when you just know but can't explain how you know? Welcome to NI, Introverted Intuition, the silent architect inside INFJs and INTJs. The function that doesn't gather data, it compresses patterns. NI sees trajectories instead of moments, meaning instead of noise, futures instead of facts. And today, we decode it. Not the mystical cliché, not the stereotype, but the real mechanics behind why INFJs and INTJs feel like they've already watched the next scene while everyone else is still reading the first line. Stay till the end, and you'll finally understand the language NI speaks. Imagine this. Someone hands an INTJ a project plan. Just one page, just a few lines. The INTJ looks at it for 5 seconds, then says, calmly, "This collapses in 3 months. No spreadsheets, no meetings, no metrics. Just clarity. And they're right." Or an INFJ sits across from someone they barely know, listens for 2 minutes and thinks, if they keep going like this, something breaks. They don't know why, but they know where, and they know when. People roll their eyes. Overthinking. Too dramatic. Too negative. Too abstract. But months later, the project collapses. Or the person does. Exactly as NI whispered. INFJs and INTJs aren't reading minds. They aren't psychic. They aren't magical. They're reading trajectories, the shape of motion, the direction of consequences, the curvature of choices. Where others see now, NI sees next. NI isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't fight for attention. It whispers. It whispers. This doesn't end well. This is connected to something bigger. This moment has consequences. INFJs tune into emotional trajectories. They feel the echo before the sound. They sense the emotional pattern, not the emotion itself. INTJs tune into structural trajectories. They see the flaw in the blueprint before the blueprint even exists. NI absorbs complexity, compresses it, distills it, and then, out of nowhere, drops a fully formed insight like lightning in a silent room. INFJs describe it as a shift in the air. INTJs describe it as the conclusion just appears. And both are misunderstood, because NI doesn't provide the steps. It provides the destination. It doesn't explain. It reveals. Everything changes when NI merges with a second function. NI alone is raw potential. NI with FE or NI with TE becomes two different worlds. Inside the INFJ mind, NI absorbs patterns of emotion, not feelings, but the trajectory of feelings. NI whispers, "This situation bends toward pain. This relationship drifts toward conflict. This choice creates emotional fallout." FE picks it up. FE gives it weight, meaning responsibility. NI predicts the emotional weather. FE feels responsible for preventing the storm. This is why INFJs guide quietly, warn gently, step in early. They aren't controlling. They're preventing futures they already sense. But when TI and SE fall out of balance, INFJs slip into the NIFE loop. Idealism without grounding, warning without clarity, empathy turning into prophecy, and the thought, I know where this leads, and I must stop it. Inside the INTJ mind, NI absorbs structural patterns, flaws, inefficiencies, weaknesses. NI whispers, "This collapses. This won't last. This pattern is unsustainable." TE reacts. TE organizes. TE repairs. TE tries to stay ahead of the failure. NI sees the future. TE tries to fix it before it arrives. This is why INTJs act early, change systems early, adjust structures before problems appear. They aren't cold. They're responding to a future that feels immediate. But when FI and SE fall out of balance, INTJs fall into the NITE loop, optimization becoming obsession, planning becoming isolation, control becoming survival, and the thought, if I don't fix this now, everything collapses. Here's the hidden symmetry. INFJ NI feels like a moral prophecy. INTJ NI feels like a structural prophecy. But both are reading the same book, just on different layers. INFJs see what it means. INTJs see how it works. NI sees where it goes. If you've ever felt your thoughts racing miles ahead, if you've ever predicted something you couldn't explain, write in the comments, "I felt NI." Naming the pattern is the first step to understanding it. INFJs use NI to sense emotional trajectories, to guide people away from unseen harm, to detect motives beneath the surface, to connect isolated events into deeper meaning. They live in the emotional future. INTJs use NI to forecast system failure, design long-term strategy, identify inefficiency instantly, and plan 10 moves ahead. They live in the structural future. Together, they represent two halves of long-term vision. The INFJ asks, "Does this future feel right for people?" The INTJ asks, "Does this future work?" Two questions, both essential, both prophetic in different ways. NI isn't magic. It isn't destiny. It isn't a sixth sense. NI is a language of patterns, projections, and time. And when you learn to hear it, you stop feeling ahead of your time and start feeling aligned with it. So let me ask you, have you ever felt your mind going too far, too fast? Write it in the comments. NI isn't just a function, it's a language. And together, we can learn to translate it. Thank you for walking this path with me. If something in this resonated, you're not alone. You're just ahead. Don't forget to like, share, or leave a comment if you've ever felt your mind whisper the future. Until next time, keep listening to what others haven't yet learned to hear.